Hey guys, and welcome to Nikrit. In today's video, we're going to go over how to make the basic shape of a amigurumi ball. You can alter this shape, you can make it bigger, you can make it smaller, you can do all kinds of altering for this, but basically what you do is you're going to create I'm going to show you how to do your increases so that you can get it to the size and diameter that you want, and then I'm going to show you how you just single crochet around until it's the length that you want, and then I'll show you how you close up. That's essentially how you make a ball. Is you expand, you go for a while, and then you do your decreases. So it's a super easy project. Today you're going to learn how to work in the round and how to single crochet. I do my crochet a little bit differently than a lot of other people do, because a lot of people, you'll see when I show you my stitch work. It's super duper easy. So for this project you're going to need some worsted weight yarn. I'm using just a basic cream color. This size head right here is for my basic baby Luna pattern that I make, that I'm going to be posting on here as well, so stay tuned for that. But you're going to need just some worsted weight yarn, a crochet hook. It doesn't really matter the size. I like using, I say the smaller the crochet hook the better, because you end up with smaller holes on your work, which makes it so that the polyfill won't show through. And so you'll also need some polyfill, obviously, something kind of stuffing, batting, whatever you want to use to put inside of your amigurumi. Fun fact, my very first amigurumi that I ever made actually was stuffed with toilet paper, because I did not have any kind of polyfill, and I didn't know enough about this to know about the whole amigurumi thing and how much that would totally take over my life. You're also going to need a darning needle so that you can tuck in any of your tails. Alright, let's get started. Having a good grasp of basic stitch work is definitely preferred for amigurumi. I'm not going to go super fully in depth. I'm going to make a slip knot, which is also a tutorial for that is down in the description. I'm going to place that slip knot on my hook. A lot of people will use a magic ring. I use I chain two, and I basically treat my first chain as a magic ring in and of itself, because I find that that's the easiest solution. So here I'm going to wrap and pull, wrap and pull, and right there off the bat, you should, if you know how to crochet at all, you'll know that I wrap from the left to the right, which is a little bit different because most people are taught from the left, from the right to the left, so you wrap over. It doesn't super duper matter. So I just chained two, 1, 2, and I skip my first chain from my hook, and I'm going to place 6 single crochet inside of my first chain. So this is 1. I go back inside that same spot right there. 2. Same 1, 3. Same 1, 4. Same 1, 5. And 6. So you end up with kind of this C shape looking thing. And a big thing that you'll notice is that your chain kind of gets loose and it opens up. All you have to do is take your tail and tug on it a little bit, and then it is nice and tight again. So to work in the round, you're basically going to keep going in a forward motion. So you're not going to work backwards or go anything like that, because you currently have your circle already pretty much made. So we're going to tip our little circle guy here forward a little bit. You'll notice that your first stitch is right here. With amigurumi, I work through the front stitch only, because I find that that makes my stitches look a little bit more bubbly, which I like in my appearance for my amigurumi. So I'm going to place 2 single crochet inside of each of the 6 that I just made, which will bring me up to 12 stitches. My ball is rolling all over the place. So I'm going to place another 2 in the next one. So this is 1, going back inside the same 1, 2. So now I'm at 4 stitches from my next round. 1, going back inside the same one, 2, 1, going back inside the same stitch, 2, 1, 2, same stitch, and the final one, 1, 2. Now on your work, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. You should have 12 stitches. You are back at your start. So this is now the start of your next round. So this is row 1, you just did row 2, and now we're working on row 3. The way that we're working this is that every single round you want it to be, if you notice that you want your ball to be bigger, you're going to increase another round. So I'm go from this one ball has 6 stitches, which goes to 12, which goes to 18, which goes to 24, which goes to 30, which goes to 36. You'll notice that I am increasing 6 stitches each round. All you're doing is placing an extra stitch between your increases each round. So what I mean by that is with this piece here, you increased every single stitch. So now, in order to increase from 12 to 18, 6 stitches evenly, you're going to need to single crochet 1, increase, single crochet 1, increase all the way around. The next round you're going to single crochet 2, increase. And you'll keep doing that until you get to your last round for this size ball, single crochet 4, increase, single crochet 4, increase, so on and so forth, if that makes sense. I'm also going to place some charts and other things and all that stuff right around here, so you'll be able to see a written pattern for this. I will also have a written pattern for that on my Ravelry, so if you're more of a I need to see it written in a pattern, it will be right down there. So we're good? Alright. So now we're going to single crochet 1, keeping 1 stitch inside of there, and then we're going to increase. This is our 13th stitch. That's kind of how I count, is I count up to 18. So then I single crochet 1, and I increase again. So that's my 14th stitch. And now 14th stitch is working. Single crochet 1, increase, that's 15. Single crochet 1, increase, single crochet 1, increase. And then this is our last one. Single crochet 1, increase. We should have 18 stitches on our work right now. So you do that by counting the little ridges along the sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Here I find that my tail is now long enough that I can actually use it with my work, so I'm going to take this and make it a stitch marker essentially. I'm going to feed my crochet hook through my final increase and pull my tail through. We're going to increase another 6 stitches the next round, so we're going to single crochet 1, 2, increase, 1, 2, and then get the hair out of there. That would be my cat Mookie. Increase, placing 2 stitches within that same 1 stitch. 1, 2, increase. If I can, there we go. 1, 2, increase. 1, 2, increase. 1, 2, and now we are at 24 stitches as soon as I finish this increase. And I moved my yarn, there we go. 24. Alright, so now we have 24 stitches. We want to get up to 36 in order to get it to the size that we want it to be. So you can also make this, if you want to just make a small ball, this one is about 1 inch in diameter. You'll have, you'll notice that this is where my increasing stops, so it kind of widens out just a slight bit, so you kind of have to adjust for, hey, I'm going to add about 1 inch in diameter whenever I work the yarn around there, if that makes sense. You add a slight bit for stuffing, because your stuffing will always expand your project, is what I mean. So next we're going to single crochet 3, increase, single crochet 3, increase, single crochet 3, increase, all the way around until I get to the end. Now that I've got 24, I'm going to actually move my tail and make a new placemaker. So here we're going to single crochet 1, 2, 3, increase. So 4 and 5, which gets us to our 30 stitches if we get to the end of this. Alright, so this is my 4 and 5 now. I just kind of skipped away to the end because you don't need to see me doing it every single, all 6 of the increases that I do for that round. I'm going to take my tail and I'm going to pull it through. There we go. Now we're going to, for this size ball, and I'm going to make this size ball for this tutorial, we're going to increase 1 every 5th stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on our 5th stitch we're going to increase 5 and the same stitch. I'm going right back into it, 6. So I'm going to keep doing that all the way around until I get to the end. Alright, so now I'm back at the very end, and I'm going to go 5 and 6. I'm increasing my last increase. I'm going to take my tail and I'm going to pull it through. Now here, you're going to just single crochet around until it's the length that you want it. For this, I single crocheted around for 7 rounds. For this size ball. If you want a bigger ball, you can just go, okay, I'm going to keep increasing until it's the width that I want. And the way that you do that is you just keep going 6 stitches each round. So for my Mama Lunas, I do every 7th stitch I increase, and so on and so forth, so I get to 42 stitches around. And you can keep going around. I actually made a little Machina cute amigurumi toy that I ended up increasing every like 15th round. It was insane. It was like 6 stitches, and then it was every 15th stitch I would do an increase, so it ended up being like, yeah, it was a huge base, and then I just ended up having to single crochet around that until it was the length that I wanted it. So for here, I'm going to just single crochet around for 7 rounds, and I will be right back once that is done, and I'll show you how I do my decreasing and how it cups on the bottom. I actually do a pretty nice seamless way of doing that, so you'll see how I actually do that. Be right back once my 7 rounds are single crocheted around. I'm going to just keep going around and around and around and around. Alright, so now I've gone around 7 times. I usually just tell because I put my last little tail right here. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I've gone 7 times around. Here, you're going to want to do the inverse, or the opposite of what you did to begin to increase. So here you started out small. On the other side, you're going to start out large and go smaller, obviously. So what we did here, what we ended with, was we're going to single crochet 4, increase. So here, we're going to, I'm going to actually move my tail from there to there, just because it makes it easier for me to tell where my decreasing starts. Just move my tail like that. And now I'm going to single crochet 4, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'm going to show you how to do an invisible decrease. So this decrease actually makes it so that you can't see it at all. I used to do one where you basically just do this, but that leaves a spot where you can see where it decreased. I'm still trying to figure out how to do an increase without, that shows this kind of lining all around the top, but I've now done it in a way where we don't have to do that. So you can just do a simple single crochet 2 together, which is single crochet, don't, single crochet, don't. What I prefer to do is you're going to go through this first loop here. This is your 5th stitch in this row. And then you're going to go through the other stitch as well. So we're going to go through the 6th and the 5th stitch, 5th and 6th stitch after you've done 4, and you're going to bring those together. The way that you do that is you simply pull your yarn through those 2 and then single crochet like normal. So I'll show you that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we're going to go through this first piece here, and then we're going to go through the 6th loop. So 5th and 6th loop are both, my hook is going through both of them. It's a little weird, it feels tight, but I promise you it's invisible. Downside is I can't tell where I am in a pattern anymore because I literally can't see it anymore. So if you are newer, you might want to start out with just single crocheting 2 together, but if you want your, if you just want to start out with good habits, kind of my going principle is you learn the hard way and you just get it done. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, you learn it the hard way. Yeah, it's hard at first, but then you're doing it the right way rather than getting into bad habits. Kind of my principle with driving. You don't start out with bad habits. I don't know. That's my rant. You pull through and then you pull through both. And you're going to do that all the way around until you get back to your first stitch. So this is 4. We're going to now go through the 5th and 6th and pull it through. So I'm going to do that all the way until I get to the end of this row. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I actually really like this way of decreasing, though it does make it really hard to see. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is my 5th repetition. Now I'm going on my 6th. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 and 6. Decrease. We're going to do pretty much the opposite, so the exact inverse. So we did every 5th and 6th here. We're going to do every 4th and 5th stitch now because that's how we decrease 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3. Take your 4th and your 5th stitch and single crochet them together pretty much. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. I do notice that when I do my 4th and 5th together, so I do 4th and 5th together right there, my inclination is to try to go into this stitch, but I've already done that stitch. I need to remember to go forward. So 1, 2, 3, 4th and 5th together. See, I always want to go right into that stitch that I've already gone through. 2, 3, 4th and 5th together. 1, 2, 3, 4th and 5th together. So now we're going to do 1, 2, decrease. Next row we're going to do 1, decrease, and then we're going to get to the point where we're down to 6 stitches essentially. So here is about where I like to stuff. So I like to take the stuffing and just start kind of filling it a little bit. It's a little less hard to get the bulk of it gone and in there. Stuffing is my least favorite part of doing any of these. And I'm going to need more stuffing than I have here. So I will be right back once I get this pretty much stuffed to the level that I want it stuffed at. And then I'll show you how I do the single crochet 2 decrease and then single crochet 1 decrease. And I'll show you how I finish off one of these. You really want to get these nice and firm and stuffed because otherwise you end up with weird lumps and it's not good. I'll be right back. Alright, so I've stuffed a bunch more and I actually went around and I did my single crochet 2 decrease. So now I have 18 stitches that are just open and live on my little guy here. I'm going to continue to stuff as I go because there's still a giant hole here, but you kind of just got to keep stuffing as you go around. So after single crocheting 1 and then decreasing, single crocheting 2 and then decreasing, now we're going to single crochet 1 and then go immediately into a decrease. And we're going to do that the entire way around, going from 18 stitches live down to 12. So this is a decrease. Wait. Oh. Yeah, okay. Okay, single crochet 1. See, this is what's so hard about doing the decreasing the way that I've been doing it, is because you can never tell what's actually a decrease, where my decrease last was. So if I forget or I lose track for like even just a second, then I lose track and I have no idea what's going on. Single crochet 1. That's why you gotta keep your tail there, man, so you can actually like see where you are in your work and you don't just keep going around and you shouldn't be. Gotta make a marker. Single crochet 1. Always have the hardest time with this is not picking up the polyfill and crocheting it into your work, because then you end up with polyfill that's just sitting there for reasons unknown. Alright, so now that I did this last decrease, we have a significantly smaller hole, and I'm going to finish by putting the yarn. You'll notice that when you've stuffed before, it's not going to be like on the edges like it should be, so I have a giant pile of polyfill here so I don't have to wander off. And I'm going to just kind of stuff and see where it needs to go. And I feel like this might take a minute. I always try to tuck underneath the two sides, that way it actually like stays. It's still like a giant hole there, but I want to not overstuff because then I end up with weird bumpies that are just out of nowhere. Alright, I'm going to get one big piece right in the center now because I think that's all I really need to finish this off. So we're going to do this and kind of tuck it under as I go all the way around. So that should be all she wrote. Pretty much. I might stuff just a little bit as I go. So here, we're going to decrease every single stitch. I do it 5 times and then I slip stitch, skip stitch and slip stitch, and that's how I decrease my last stitch. I'll show you how I do that in just a moment. So I do 1, decrease. That's way too. Also work on your tension. Make sure that your tension's not off, that way you don't end up with a giant loop. That's a close, so yeah, it's a little bit tighter there. And if you stuffed too much, this will become really hard, and when you decrease, it won't look good, because you end up with a lot of holes. I'm trying to show how to do it while also doing it. It's kind of difficult for this part. Pretty sure that's 4. Let me count how many stitches I have going on right now. I should have. And now that I've done the smaller hole, I'm actually going to add a little bit more yarn, more polyfill there. There we go. See, there's always something. There we go. That's much better. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to decrease once more by doing my 2 together. 1, 2. So now I just decreased from 8 to 7. So now I have 7 stitches. I want 6 stitches. So I'm going to skip this stitch and I'm going to slip stitch into this stitch. This is just how I get mine to be seamless. That's my preferred. You can just do it however, and I slip stitch off. Slip stitch into it, slip stitch, and then I slip stitch off. I leave a decently long tail. And you'll notice, hey, there's a pretty substantial hole still left. Don't you worry. I'm going to go through this stitch right here and slip my tail through. I'm going to go through the next stitch. And I'm going to pull my tail through. I'd push in my hook just like I would if I was single crocheting, and I pull it through all 6 of these stitches. And then this is the final one. And you'll notice now that when you pull your tail, it ends up completely darn near invisible except for that one piece. And believe it or not, that is actually very easy to fix. So I'm going to take my darning needle. I'm going to take it from the top of this knot that you can see right on there's like a little slip knotty spot right there. You're going to push right into it, push right into your work, and go through the side. This will make it so that your tail is hidden. It won't come unraveled, and now you can't tell where it came from at all. Here, you're going to want to cut off all your tails. I work them through the middle of my work. Always try to make sure that there's a good length of tail in with the stuffing. That way it won't come unraveled in any way. So this is how you make your basic ball. This is what I use to make my Luna bodies. This is actually a future video I'm doing where I'm going to show people how to make Daenerys Stormborn. This is her hair, so her hair actually comes off. And this is just a cute little Luna body. I showed a bear that I had done recently on it. It's all, this is just what I've decided from my Luna dolls, and those are actually available on my Ravelry store, so if you're interested in any of those things, I might show some pictures. But these are all the miniature ones that I'm doing, and typically these are patterns that I sell, but because I have a YouTube channel, I wanted to do a couple of these for my YouTube channel as well. So that's pretty much all there is to a basic amigurumi ball. It's just a little round surface. This is how I make the size that I need for my Luna doll. This one's actually going to be a pug. He's really cute, and I love how he turned out for the big Mama Luna, so I'm going to see how he turns out for the baby Luna as well. I've got a little face that I made up, so we'll see how that goes, and if you guys are interested in seeing that as a video, go ahead and post down below. Let me know if you're interested, because sometimes I get like everybody's like super interested in seeing one of these projects. So stay tuned, and I have all my social media links down in the doobly-doo down below. These eyes are like super, if you wanted to actually add eyes, you would actually have to add those sometime during the 9th and 10th row. That's what I did for this doll right here. I added right between the 9th and the 10th row. I have all my social media. I've got Patreon. I've got all those kinds of things you already know and have heard about 5 million times in all the other videos. So I'm not going to go on a huge spiel about that, but stay tuned. I've been trying to post a lot more. So until next time, guys. Bye!